Okay, welcome back everyone to another match we've got here, happening simultaneously with the one that's happening on the A stream. We have here Nepkin versus ERDFS. Hopefully I find out a better way to pronounce that as the match goes on. But this is going to be a loser's bracket match, so the loser is eliminated from the tournament right here. And Potassium F going to be casting alongside Epic Man 2. How you doing?
Yeah, doing pretty good as usual. Rode off some other matches that I've commentated earlier on, and I'm back into the swing of things as we will be commentating yet another match in the losers bracket. Nepkin and ER and ERDFS. I'm gonna probably say it as ERDFS for this match as well.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, it's like
the other option is you like really lean into it, like in the middle of the map. Huge miss by ERDFS.
Yeah, oh my dear lord. Team Blue ERDFS, seat 39, has literally lost a map and literally missed as well. That would be probably the most insane way to like read it all out, just so our viewers could probably understand what's going on.
Meanwhile, on Team Red, NEPKIN. But going into this match, we do have Nepkin winning the role. I do expect this is actually going to be a fairly strong Rice versus LN kind of matchup here. I do believe. Let me just double check again. Who was it that was the LN player? I think it was...
It was Nepkin. Nepkin's the LN player.
Nepkin's a little bit better on the LNs overall, relatively to the rest of his skill sets, I guess. ERDFS is very strong with the Rice, actually. Looking at last week's scores in the map pool, those are some really solid Rice scores across the board. And if you can continue that with this map pool, then I think that is looking like a great place to attack in the map pool.
Absolutely, and especially here going into the round of 32, this is the point where the losers bracket really starts to come into fruition. So it is going to be all the more important that either of these players are going to have to start pulling their wits to be able to pull through with performances alone. As you know, Nepkin gonna win the roles by quite an objective amount. ERDFS literally lost with a roll of 3 and only 3. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how both these players are going to be going about this match as well, while Nepkin is going to be starting off with their first protect going to be on LN2. Makes the most sense. Volcanic is pretty much no slouch of an LN density map, so it makes the sense that Nepkin would want to go for picks that can otherwise exploit that of their opponent, but ERDFS is going to look to try and ban out the likes of Rice Free instead, not looking to have... Actually, no, Nepkin's the one banning the Jack map. Okay, sorry.
Makes a lot of sense. Nepkin doesn't want to play the Rice maps too much, and I guess Cord Jack is one of those picks. If you can't really keep up with this, it's kind of just completely doomed. So I'm assuming that might be one of those situations here for Nepkin. And actually a Hybrid 2 ban from ERDFS here. So feeling like the LN is okay. I was expecting more of like an LN1 ban, but I guess this matchup on the LN should actually be theoretically quite close, so maybe feeling like there's a bit more opportunity for a breakpoint in those LN maps.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially for Nepkin being focused on the LN category, I would definitely imagine that ERDFS would want to at least take note that, do their homework prior to this matchup to be able to know what exactly they should pick into within a matchup like this, for example, where, you know, tournament lives are going to be on the line this early on as per usual. That's pretty much how the usual tournament protocol works, as we will be going into LN1, Peach Pain, and Cyanide. So yeah, it makes the most sense that Nepkin would want to opt in for a pick like this. Definitely going to be within their comfort zone. However, it does seem like they will be sight reading. Or at least that's what I'm assuming based off the IRC chat on the bottom left.
Yeah, we got the holy sight read call out for sure out here. No fail is recommended. Is that supposed to be shade, or is it just a fact? Because I mean, no fade, of course, is always recommended in tournaments for everyone, because you don't want to automatically fail out the map and it end prematurely. But let's get into this. This is going to be the first pick from Nepkin, so the lower seed fighting back on their own pick should be a relatively stronger one with the LN coordination here, and both players actually struggling early on with the accuracy.
Yeah, it seems like both players going to be struggling with the accuracy, but ERDFS is going to be the one that gets the worst end of the stick out of that one alone. Nepkin in with a bit of advantage. However, it does seem like despite both players dropping down to the 99% accuracy range, they're going to be kind of equalized out just based off misses alone. Nepkin also trading one of those misses back on their own accord, and that's exactly what's going to equate things once again, and that's exactly what Nepkin is basically looking to try and avoid, especially for their very first pick on this matchup, in which, yes, it makes the most sense that this is going to be a Siren coming from them with a lot of these anchored lens intact as well, but this is exactly what makes things a lot more dangerous because this map is not really the easiest thing to be able to act either.
Yeah, Nepkin still with the accuracy advantage, but that was a second miss being dropped, so the combo lead in favor of ERDFS, and that's helping quite a lot. There's a third miss. That one's quite messy as well, down to 98.5. And now the accuracy lead switches over as well. This is going to be a pretty big lead, but stifled a little bit by a miss from ERDFS back. So, never mind. Both players finding misses at fairly regular intervals.
Yeah, exactly, and those intervals are exactly what's going to be damaging Nepkin as well, because it seems like there is a lot of opportunities that they could have taken to at least capitalize off the misses that ERDFS is committing towards, but the fact that they keep reciprocating that and just being a literal mirror of their worst demons is exactly what's the issue here, and that's pretty much what's going to result in a breakpoint for ERDFS if this keeps up throughout the final third of the map. There's still a lot of time for both these players to be able to make do with what they can in this map, but this is exactly why, like, it's pretty much more recommended to be able to understand the picks you're really trying to gnaw at here, because if you're going blindly into picks like these where you can very easily choke a lot on these kinds of patterns, especially with shorter lens intact that, well, literal swing rhythm, if anything, it's exactly what's going to be the worst demon you could probably face down in the losers bracket first thing in the morning, if anything.
Yeah, looking quite strong right here for ERDFS. Another miss, and these misses have been so messy on the side of Nepkin. None of them have been clean. Coming with a lot of bad judgments, and we can see this accuracy. Oh, this combo is struggling now. Miss coming back from ERDFS, but it feels like it's just too late. These repeated misses from Nepkin just adding up to a 30,000 point lead. That's not going to be recoverable in these last few seconds.
Yeah, indeed, and gonna be far from recoverable if anything. Final staggered releases rain down, and ERDFS is gonna be the one getting that breakpoint and winning off 28,000 points for this one as well, and then 922k to be able to take it off. And this one could have definitely been a lot worse, because we've seen that both these players have literally plummeted down below what is even average scores for, you know, what you would expect in this round. But the fact that they've been down this low and somehow still relatively close is definitely a message to be signaling to each other. I mean, ERDFS definitely going to ride off the win off this one and probably utilize that adrenaline going into the next pick, but I would imagine they probably want to switch it up and go right for the Rice category, because I am not particularly sure if they really want to go for more of these LN maps unless they are entirely sure that Nepkin is going to be the one that's going to need napkins after this one, because holy damn, I wouldn't be particularly happy if I was the one losing on a match where I thought it was going to be so objective, but somehow was still close regardless of which.
I mean, it just basically comes down both players really not comfortable on that map. That's kind of how it goes here. I feel like ERDFS themselves more of a Rice player, it seems, whereas Nepkin, I guess, just has that overall, maybe just lagging a bit behind overall in terms of skill sets. But as you said, that map was close enough that you feel like, you know, Nepkin definitely still has a shot on the other LN maps. But for now, no time being wasted. This is the Protect actually coming out from ERDFS.
And honestly, it makes sense that ERDFS would want to throw out their Protect, because this is kind of leading into the assumption that this is going to be one of their more comfortable picks going into this round, in which, yeah, I can definitely see this as being this one pick that may as well be favorable for oneself, because this is a map that's literally, you know, I mean, everyone is already well acquainted with this song. This is literally just Korean scat, man, if anything. Albeit the map itself is fairly I'm not wrong with that descriptor.
No,
like,
no, I get it. No, I get it actually. No, you said that. I'm like, yeah.
I mean, it probably would have been funny if it was the BMS delay version of this song, but I don't think everyone would have been ready for that and only ran it for 2, you know what I mean? So, you know.
Back-to-back matches that a bomb has been dropped on my head for this song in particular when it's come up. Just the previous match before, I got told that this was not actually Acquaintance, and I looked at the title and I was like, oh yeah, what?
I mean, to be fair, like, Loner is pretty much, like, second behind Acquaintance in terms of being probably the most popular Outsider song in Mania, or just OSU in general, but I mean, I don't even know. I don't think I've been in the game like long enough to be able to tell, besides from the fact that these are like the most common songs that I've seen. But that aside, seems like what's going to be the most common is that we will have a reoccurrence of what we've seen in any other match. The fact that the score is literally being equalized right in the middle with the smallest bias to ERDFS for the time being, looking to try and capitalize off this protect of their own, which is going to be really important. The score, the actual difference is already being made very early on. It's only the first quarter, if anything. Fairly short map, 2.5 minutes of length, and there's a lot you can really work with on this one.
Yeah, both players dropping in accuracy a little bit. Couple 200s here and there. But it's definitely ERDFS with that 0.3% advantage. That's fairly significant so far. But of course, short map, so misses are going to mean a lot. Both players still with a full combo. Means that anything could happen at a moment's notice.
Exactly, and that's the type of thing that I would assume ERDFS wants to avoid as best as possible, because it seems already right now that Nepkin has basically given up the most objective advantage that could have been given on a map like this, especially with how this is fairly abrasive in terms of parenting and how the way that Sakasagi here has addressed a variety of these dump parents. I mean, it pretty much is just a bit of a blend between some of these more conventional parents, and then when it comes to the main drops, you have a lot of really quick burst parents that are here to represent the literal bars that this guy is just speaking in a language I cannot understand personally, but what it looks like, it's still pretty much a 30,000 point lead for ERDFS for the time being, looking to at least work their will with a lot of these parents, regardless of which, and it's still going to be remain that way for the end of a portion of the match as we're going into the final quarter.
Yeah, I mean, both players dropping in accuracy over time, but Nepkin really being the one to struggle more, and that's another messy miss coming there, 98.5. And ERDFS still full comboing, 99.7, just about. This lead is too big to recover from. And it's looking like a worthy protect coming out of ERDFS, gonna secure this 2-point lead in the match.
Absolutely, and being able to secure that very early is definitely quite a statement to make from the side of ERDFS as well, making sure and at least trying to guarantee that this is going to have to be a bit of a mountain to climb for the side of Nepkin if they really want to be able to take points of their own, be able to take things into their own name, as 61, nearly 62,000 points of advantage is no slouch whatsoever. If I was Nepkin in this scenario, I would have been at a literal loss for words how I can even tackle a player on the level of ERDFS here with a 989k in their favor on a map as kind of abrasive as this, while, you know, I mean, it's only 2-0 for the time being in the favor of ERDFS, so Nepkin going to be opting in for their protect right out the gate as well. Seems that they are self-admitted that they are a little rusty to play in this tournament, but at the same time, they've been pulling efforts that not many other people are able to pull as well, so it's still fun regardless.
Yeah, I think the strategy for both players is already made quite clear. Got to pick the LN maps. Nepkin, of course, losing LN1, but you'd have to say it was a lot closer than that Rice pick there. Not really much you could do if ERDFS is able to FC the Rice, but at least this one should have some avenue of attack. ERDFS not going to be very comfortable themselves.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially on a map like this, like Hurricanic, for example, this is pretty much a song that everyone and their moms nowadays in Mania knows, because this is literally just the opposite of, what, Volcanic, I guess? I mean, everyone literally knows that song because of one reason that I shall not name, but Hurricanic is literally what was Stop It Man's, like, reiteration of that one map of that of Volcanic alone, and the fact that Stereotype literally took that song and made it into LN Density is like, Yeah, bro. What are you even doing? Like, the fact that this is L density is kind of insane to think about. Only a 190 BPM, and it's also very short as well. The shortest map we've seen in the entire pool by far, actually. 2 minutes and only 1 second just above that margin. There's not really a lot of time Nepkin has to be able to take this, and that's exactly the one thing that they're going to have to capitalize off of here.
And neither player can afford big mistakes here because you won't get the time to recover from it at all. So far, though, out the gates, it's going to be ERDFS actually finding the bigger accuracy drops early on. Nepkin still dropping in accuracy a little bit, but managing to hold on just a bit better.
Yeah, and if anything, it's only going to be by quite a bit because the density that this map introduces is going to be fairly thick as well in terms of the core density that's embedded between some of these patterns. You get really close to full inverse patterning, a lot of dense jump stream and jump drills thrown here and there, and it seems like now there is a little bit of breathing room that both players can afford for the time being. Nepkin only 3,000 points ahead. If they were to drop, they can very easily switch it up, and that's exactly the thing that they want to avoid because they've yet to win anything going into this match so far, but ERDFS is just continually dropping whenever there is at least a slight glimpse of the pattern that literally tripped them up, and
Nepkin is really struggling with some of these patterns, though. Dropped a lot of accuracy all of a sudden, and now we're less than 1,000 points away from each other. Nepkin still with a little bit of an advantage, but this is not safe.
This is far from safe. This is probably the worst part you can, like, choke in. Wait, you need to watch these patterns. Oh, Nepkin.
Oh, the accuracy drops. Is it enough to tie it? They're tied. They're tied. Oh my god. And now ERDFS actually with a little bit of a lead. Nepkin drops a couple more 200s there, dropping down into the 99.2, slipping away.
Oh, no, dude, that part was so rough. Okay, the final part, you cannot miss here whatsoever, but ERDFS, unfortunately, is going to rob Nepkin of their own protect as well. Yet another breakpoint in their favor, and the ratio is only up by 1 perfect. It was just down to the misjudgments. Are you serious?
Yeah, too many 200s in a row with some specific patterns towards the end from Nepkin. And, I mean, the double FC, gotta shout it out, both players absolutely crushing it. Just coming down to those small details, the small mistakes coming out of both of the players, but ERDFS being the one on top, 3-0 now. That's 2 breakpoints.
Bloody hell, dude. That is disrespectful. There's just no other way I can describe this. Like, how? Oh my god. Had it been for ERDF getting a drop on that map, this definitely could have been so much closer to call for either side, but it seems that unfortunately that will not be the story to be told for this pick, as ERDFS is going to swing right along with the match and slide right on to Rise 2 L4 BTS on 1.05. Makes the most sense to switch this up right back to the Rise category because they really want to be able to exploit Nepkin as much as they can while, you know, this match is still fairly fresh in the hands of either side. So ERDFS now riding off of a 3-0 lead. They still have 2 points that they've yet to win if they want to be able to advance into Round 16 next weekend. So going with Rise 2 definitely is going to be quite the sensible option.
Yep, I feel like all the Rise picks feel kind of fantastic right now for ERDFS. So Rise 2 going to be more of the jump stream option. Should be more comfortable overall, right? Not quite as uncomfortable of a map as the dump one that we saw, or like Rise 5, for example. But that should definitely favor ERDFS overall. We've seen the physicality difference, the comfort difference on these Rise maps should be enough to carry him through. But let's see what Nepkin has to offer.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can never really count out Nepkin for the fact that this is basically the Rise equivalent of LN2, if anything.
Are we in the map?
Doesn't seem like it.
I see the good luck, have fun in chat. Wait,
okay, I have no idea what happened there.
Let me check the MP link. What's going on? Yeah, they're playing it. They're playing it all right.
They're already playing. Okay.
Yeah, they're like 30 seconds in now.
Oh wow.
You know what we mentioned earlier? MP Link casting.
Oh yeah, true. Okay. Yes. All right. We finally the opportunity is literally looking so gold right now. Right. So we're starting off
So
with
this is what?
L4.
Oh man, it's 3.5 minutes. Why is it 3.5 minutes?
Oh dear God. I mean, hey, at least for this map, the fact that it's only 3 minutes and 20 seconds or something, we can pretty much like discuss like what we think is happening in the map right now and see if we're right. Like if we're gonna be blinding, if we're gonna be commentating this one a little blind with only the MP Link at hand.
Yeah, this is just a classic tournament client moment. Well, I can kind of imagine what's happening though. We have probably ERDFS in a bit of a lead, you know, overall. Nepkin should be behind when it comes to just the ratio. Ratio should be favoring ERDFS. 200 count should probably be favoring ERDFS as well. But kind of up to the misses. It's like whether or not do you think ERDFS is going to find some big misses here and there or not. And I feel like... We're in! Okay! There's our answer. ERDFS has not missed, but Nepkin most certainly has. Not able to keep up with this level of BPM. 239, quite a high BPM, honestly, for a map this long with the jump stream. But it is decently light for the most part. ERDFS absolutely crushing it. 99.81. This is already 50,000 points just about.
Yeah, exactly. The fact that we're going right into round of 32 and we already have 240 BPM jump stream literally being represented here, that's literally crushing Nepkin's chances of being able to take this is... Oh, bro, that's brutal. You're literally immediately throwing your players off to the deep end right off with this one, and we can literally see that with ERDFS literally taking advantage of this one alone, being able to work their way through a variety of these trolls, a lot of these anchors that Hachiko has literally thrown in here and there, and literally from what we can see here, it seems really clear for ERDFS, but for Nepkin, however, it's completely different. The stark contrast is evil.
Looking rough. Physicality difference is definitely what you would say here. These patterns, not the most complicated patterns. Of course, patterns that both players should be able to play perfectly fine, but at this BPM, not always. And for this long as well, I think we should expect Nepkin now, really starting to feel this stamina come into play as well. We can see the hit error going quite late on a lot of these notes.
Yeah. Precisely for ERDFS, they've literally been playing like a full-on human metronome throughout this pick alone. Is that seriously an FC that I see on this?
That is an FC. That is a clean score. 992k.
Ooh. Wow. All right.
Just one of those scores. You look at that as Nepkin and you're just like, oh, okay. Yeah, I guess we're doing this.
Yeah.
Like, yep, nah, I wasn't winning that anyway. That's perfectly fine. Just a really strong performance overall. Not really much you could do against a score like this on ERDF's side, but that is going to put him to match point already. So we're looking at the 4-0, and we'll see. It's up to Nepkin now on their last pick. LN3, it would have to be. Does seem to be the pick. Tried to pick Hybrid 2, but that was banned, so can't do that. Yep. Does have EX2 as well, or Hybrid 1, if you want to get into the different kind of pools.
Yeah. I think at this point, like, while your back is against the wall, the best option is pretty much just avoid going into the Rise category no matter what. I mean, you know, Nepkin already is at least trying to make do with what they can see of ERDFS literally blowing the smoke off their gun right there, and it seems like they will be going out into Hybrid 1 out of sheer pressure on Mashir. Anything, that's going to be the most important map for them because they get to be able to win anything in this matchup alone. It's already been looking fairly dominant except from, you know, LN2, but that's like the only one that we've seen. LN3 probably could have been a good option as well, but saving that for later if it does come down to Nepkin trying to pull their wits to be able to pull off victories from here on out, which is that's going to have to happen anytime soon because if it doesn't, then that's going to only result in disaster here, and that's something that we don't want to witness here no more.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, the choice is going to be the Hybrid 1. So going to the hybrid pool, not going to be quite a fan of the Fola LN pick. Yeah, I mean, look, if we're seeing like some discomfort on the current LN maps, then a Fola LN map is a whole new world of pain.
Yeah, precisely. That's just the thing with, you know, Fola maps in general. Like, you know, like, it's definitely one of those names where, you know, if you go into a tournament, you definitely would expect that Fola is going to literally have some of the most egregious visual patterns that they can afford for an LN map of any difficulty regardless. And that's exactly something that not many players are really able to have a good grasp of, even when it comes to his easier maps, if anything. Because I know I've played in many tournaments which did feature his maps inside, especially from, you know, some Chinese national tournaments, for example, and each time I played them, I was at least struggling, like numerous times. Pretty much makes the most sense that it would have been the same for either of these players, but at least they are going to be blacking out that chance of happening for now with this potential final pick coming out from Nepkin. So far looking very equalized, very short map at that as well. Not really much wiggle room you have with Mashir. Nepkin is going to have to make the best out of what they can absolutely afford with this map alone.
Yeah, for sure. A bit of an accuracy drop for both players. Just about tied up so far, but both on the full combos importantly, and I think any misses is what's going to really decide it here when they're so close together in the accuracy side of things. As you said, only 2 minutes long, so it's really going to make a big difference if someone does find that big mistake, but oh my god, that's 400 points in the break section at halfway.
Dear lord.
Well, a bit of a rough transition there for ERDFS, hitting really early. That's going to give a little bit more of an accuracy lead to Nepkin.
Indeed. This is a map that was featured in the Japanese Mania Championships 3rd edition, so the fact that Nepkin is looking to do what they absolutely can't afford on a map like this is going to have to be important. They've been holding the FC for very long, but the greats are also bleeding out as well. That's going to bring things back to the favor of ERDFS. The clutches once again, but they've only got a quarter of map to be able to manage. There's so much they could do, but the greats are proving far too mighty for Nepkin to be able to manage as the miss finally comes out. Oh, dear God.
Yeah, held on for so long, but at the end just slipped away. ERDFS managing to hit that pattern just fine. And now with the accuracy advantage as well, it's looking like ERDFS just needs to hold on to the combo to secure this match victory. Last few seconds, 11,000 points, it's looking like that's going to be it. ERDFS completes the sweep despite some very close maps for Nepkin. We are going to be seeing Nepkin eliminated from the tournament here in the round of 32, whereas ERDFS gets to play in the losers bracket round of 16.
That is insane. Bro, what a score we've been seeing. I mean, it's really unfortunate for Nepkin because I have seen for a fact that they were pulling really good scores regardless of which, but unfortunately, even outside the Rice category, a lot of it has just proved far too mighty for them to be able to tackle the likes of ERDFS, even when it came to the closeness of the likeness of, what, LN2, for example. That just wasn't even enough, and that alone is what's going to eliminate them from the tournament and allow ERDFS to proceed with the Kalyum Cup going into round of 16. What a match this was.
Good performances coming out there, but we're not gonna be able to sit back for too long because I think we're actually going into another match right away.
Oh, yeah.
Both streams going on at the same time here. Yeah, we've got Angela versus ManiaDegengod here on the second stream. I think there's another match also happening on the main stream as well, so make sure you check out both of them as we're going into this one. This one going to be a winner's bracket match, actually, I believe.
The other match that's going to be on the main channel is going to be none other than Soul Knight 123 versus Mixers. So Seed 59 be Seed 38 for those interested in watching. Whereas for this one, we will be sticking to our guns, going right for the winner's bracket instead. Angela and ManiaDegengod are both players that I'm somewhat acquainted with. Angela I faced in, you know, some other tournaments like, you know, Full DM, for example, whereas ManiaDegengod is someone that I'm probably not really as familiar with them in terms of their capabilities, but I know for a fact that Angela has been coming back. And we see a 100 roll. Are you serious?
Oh, whoa.
Hi.
Holy, okay. I think this is an interesting matchup as well, because kind of looking at how these players have been performing, Angela, of course, I mean, seed 6 for a reason. Oh my god, some of these scores. Absolutely nuts. But I'm looking especially at some of these Rice scores overall for Angela. Whereas on the other side of things, actually, I feel like this is, if anything, a good matchup for ManiaDegengod, all things considered. There have been a few of these LN maps where ManiaDegengod has beaten Angela's score, or otherwise gotten a ridiculously scary one. I mean, last week, 996k on LN2 is obscene.
God. That's just disrespectful. Like, how are you even meant to, like, manage with that? That's like, okay, the further perspective, ManiaDegengod has literally gotten a score on Melt CPK remix from last round, and is literally sandwiched in between Newson and Lossing Diarrhea as a score as well with a 996k. So the fact that we've got that in the LN category, then we're probably gonna see Angela just absolutely dominating the Rise category as well. That's certainly a message to be putting down here, if anything. I mean, the seed discrepancy is probably not going to really mean much at this point with the caliber of players that we're seeing right here off the gate.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the one thing kind of that's well in Angela's favor, though, is that ManiaDegengod definitely didn't seem very comfortable with Rice last week, was hitting some scores like that didn't seem quite up to the same standard as the LN scores for sure, and scores that Angela should definitely beat if both players are playing as they were before. Whereas the other way around, you can't really say exactly the same. ManiaDegengod definitely with some extremely impressive LN scores, but Angela is, you know, right up there as well. So I feel like the LN might be a bit of a bloodbath between these two players, but Angela definitely Rice favored. We'll see how it goes here. Protecting the LN2 and Rice 5, those are very expected in terms of types of maps.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it pretty much is synonymous with most matches in this turn alone, that a lot of players are pretty much going to opt in for at least banning or protecting anything in the Rice or LN category, pretty much. Not really paying much mind to, you know, either the EX or hybrids. As it does stand, it seems like, you know, both the protects are pretty much the most straightforward thing that we could have asked for. LN3 getting banned as well from the side of Angela makes sense. ManiaDegengod is literally someone you don't want to mess with on these LNs either. So I think Angela doesn't really want to bank on the sole idea of having to face them on that. And EX1 getting banned by ManiaDegengod as well. Pretty much sensible decision after sensible decision.
Yeah, I was gonna say Rice 4 would be a good ban for ManiaDegengod, but I forgot about the EX pool existing. So yeah, EX1, great ban. For sure.
Good one. You deserve the thumbs up for that, man.
Yeah.
Genuinely good decision.
We're just out here making reasonable decisions. Love to see it.
Hell yeah.
So that means, I believe, the first pick goes to ManiaDegengod. Gonna get 2 LNs still in this. Oh, actually 3 if you include the EX2. So I would assume maybe like an LN1 to start off, but no, actually EX2 starting off, also a good first pick here.
Absolutely. So, starting off with EX2. Is that what we're seeing? Are you serious?
Yeah, well, I will say that last week Angela did get 992k on EX2, but of course that's last week. This is a new week. Maybe Angela will get 991k. Much worse.
Yeah, much worse, and it's only off by like 1,000 points. That's generally how insane the difficulty progression is for this tournament, because we see a lot of I see a lot of maps that are like definitely so much harder than what should be usually afforded in these rounds. But the fact that the map pool is doing it and players are still playing out of their minds regardless with these pools is like, damn, what more do you want from us? Like, our rent is due. Literally, like, let us have our fun. Like, literally suffer for once, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of these like players nowadays, it's so hard to get them to not pop off on these maps. They're getting so hard, but they're still going to impress me every single time. It's kind of insane.
Exactly. And this has always just been like a butterfly effect worth of like things that we've been seeing throughout this tournament so far, and other ones recently, for example, as well, where it's like everyone's just playing out their minds and they just refuse to back down no matter what. Despite how hard the early rounds are literally getting, we're literally pulling above what is even above what we're even capable of playing now, and somehow everyone is literally just like laughing at us for doing it. Like, it's just comedic. That's the way I probably see it.
This one, though, getting into the map, this one's going to be a very long one. Of course, the hardest LN pick of the pool. And so far, kind of early on, nothing too tricky at the start here, but both players holding on to quite strong accuracies. It's going to come down to that consistency, whether or not you can keep it up throughout these more difficult sections coming up here now.
Absolutely. I mean, there's still a lot that both these players have to work with, but the fact that we're only past the first quarter and it's very in the middle. I literally saw the scoreline being only differentiated by under 100 points. That's definitely a sentiment as to how difficult this matchup's going to be for both these players, especially in the winner's bracket, where it seems the seedings literally don't mean anything now, as it's now the advantage of ManiaDegengod by 400 points. Sure, buddy. Okay.
Oh man, yeah, this is tense. Even these break sections, oh, you cannot afford to let up with your concentration, because 200s is more than enough to give Angela the lead. Right now, ManiaDegengod with a bit of an act lead. Doesn't mean a whole lot though, there's still so much map left to play.
And it's especially on top of all the hidden jack. No,
that's gonna do it.
Oh no.
But importantly, look at the accuracy. Accuracy not actually in Angela's favor. This lead is not going to be big. It's going to be a tiny lead for Angela. And if the accuracy does start to separate a little bit, I think this map is long enough that it only takes a little bit of an accuracy lead to make that back. But now it's going to be a lot harder with another miss coming in from ManiaDegengod.
That's exactly what Angela was banking on, because they've still maintained ERDFS for over an entire half the map. Going into the final quarter, this is exactly where they're going to have to at least allow this to surface as best as possible. 5,000 in their advantage, and only capitalize upon even further and objectify now that ManiaDegengod take the third miss in a row. There's still a lot of technical patterns to afford here and there, but Angela's working their absolute will, exercising their freedom of speech to be able to get such a good score on this for the time being. There's still only one quarter of the map left to be able to ensure that this stays the same way no matter what.
Oh, that's like 5 misses now for ManiaDegengod versus the FC from Angela. The accuracy, I mean, overall, when we look at this 200 count, this ratio, I feel like ManiaDegengod might have the advantage overall when it comes to ratio especially. But yeah, just the misses, I mean, you can't really beat an FC with this many misses, you know?
Yeah, it's quite an uphill battle, especially for the very first pick of the entire match. This guy literally won the rolls with 100, and somehow it still results in a breakpoint no matter what, as it's Angela winning off the full combo. Even if it didn't come down to accuracy, ManiaDegengod's fatigue kicked in partway through, and that's exactly what's going to give it up. The misjudgment game is separate from these two.
Look, take away all those bad judgments, the 6 misses, the 50s, the 100s, and you get a basically tied score, I feel like, with the 200s and ratios.
Exactly.
You can see the potential. There's a lot of potential for these to get super close, but I think this one may be just a little bit outside the difficulty range. Angela, being, you know, the higher overall seed, seems to have a little bit better of the physicality, and that's going to pay off early breakpoint in this match.
Yeah, exactly, and honestly, a good bit of ego boost for Angela to work with, as well as riding into Rise 2 immediately. Definitely the best option you could probably go for, because it's still within shooting range for Angela, especially knowing the Rice monster they are literally top seeding in the entire tournament, and they're going to try and continue their spree of victories going into this match as well, which is going to be quite the important statement to at least keep up no matter what. But at the same time, I mean, ManiaDegengod, despite how the previous map went, it was still fairly close when it came to the ratio and stuff alone. And I think just going off the raw technicality of that map alone, it's probably the one weakness that would literally peek into the shields of literally any player alone. So I'm interested to see how ManiaDegengod would work with a pick like this, where L4 BTS 8TS is just a lot more conventional on the contrarian to that of EX2, if anything.
Yeah, this one should be a lot more straightforward, which might actually give ManiaDegengod a bit of a fighting chance here, because they should be very comfortable, I think. Definitely should be strong enough to get a really good score. And that was a nice start there. First, what, 150 to 200 notes being 100%, and both players with some ridiculous early ratios here. It's just whether or not they can keep it up. It looks like ManiaDegengod slowly dropping down, but so does Angela. Might stabilize around 99.9 here.
Exactly, both players looking to try and stable up soon, and so far, so good. No, none of these players are even looking to drop, as it's literally being kept only 100 points of differential between the two in the smallest possible bias for Angela. So if it does come down to any mistakes that Angela wants to bleed out, then that's going to be a good sentiment for ManiaDegengod to build off of, because so far, it seems like the accuracy is equalized, but even then, there's still some minuscule misjudges that are being thrown out by either side to keep things in check. ManiaDegengod not in the safest position, going off of literal greats and yellow perfects, which is literally quite the scariest thing to imagine going to a map like this where you're literally paired against a god when it comes to Rise.
Yeah, that was a 200 there for ManiaDegengod. That does actually have a pretty big dent in the accuracy, and ManiaDegengod's kind of struggling to find stability a little bit. Maybe has found it just about now, this 99.8. but was continuously dropping before then. Angela's maintained this 99.9 quite well going into the first half, so accuracy quite strong in favor of Angela right now. But ManiaDegengod still in it, close enough so that a mistake could be enough to snatch away a win.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Angela is pretty much riding off of a grade that bled out from ManiaDegengod's fingers, and despite it, oh my god, you are kidding me! Why?
That's a rough one. That's a rough one. Gonna require maybe 2 misses from Angela now if ManiaDegengod wants to be able to pick this one back up. But just a really unfortunate miss. That was kind of just like at the transition between sections there. And it feels like, I mean, just FC is the name of the game here for Angela. Doesn't seem like they intend to miss, that is, I should say. Definitely intend to FC.
I mean, at this point, it has to be the intention for Angela, surely. I mean, they've literally gone through the entire map without even missing once, and now that ManiaDegengod has slipped up even once, and that's literally the golden opportunity for Angela to just take and run away with this point alone, because again, they won with a breakpoint first thing, so this is going to really solidify their chances of being able to take yet another point and to be able to try and proceed with the match as soon as possible, because they still have a bunch of points to win, and by that, it's pretty much going to be free if nothing bad happens in this final few seconds of the map, hopefully.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the miss didn't really matter, because this ratio, I think Angela just outclassed ManiaDegengod throughout the map here. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Large enough difference in this 300. And, of course, V1 double S from Angela. The score is just too clean.
It's tremendous. That is... just about 10,000 points of a differential on this map, and somehow a score that's literally close to 990k is not even enough. That is quite scary to imagine.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being honest, I kind of had doubts about this pick. I don't think it was the best Rice pick to go for, but I mean, if you are just going to V1 double S, then nothing matters, right? Yeah, any pick is good if you just V1 double S it. As Angela goes to show.
I mean, that is until your opponent also manages a V1 double S and somehow gets a very similar ratio to you as well. But at the same time, maybe the separator that at least marginalizes Angela and ManiaDegengod was by just about 200 perfect spacing, so it would have been a tough mountain for DegenGod to climb, but it seems like DegenGod will try to make the story, will try to alternate the story, going with the script and following along with LN2.
I was going to say it was LN3 that was banned. LN2 was the Protect from ManiaDegengod. So
yeah,
this one, gonna have to be the comfort zone. And I guess really the goal here, ManiaDegengod has to FC. If Angela isn't going to find the miss, then you cannot afford to miss yourself, especially in a much shorter map this time compared to the first two that we've seen.
Yeah, absolutely. There is no more question about fatigue going into this map at all now. There is some more breathing room, but the issue is that ManiaDegengod has yet to win. They don't want Angela to be able to go way too far into the match without even winning a single point. This is probably one of the best points to start off, at least. I mean, Kirkanic is definitely a dangerous pick on its own, just because this is really close to full inverse at about 190 BPM, and that's exactly what I would imagine ManiaDegengod to be able to capitalize off against the likes of Angela, who's also shown to be somewhat equalized with them when it comes to Ellen, if not when it comes to the consistency game.
Deb, it is crazy how ManiaDegengod is getting a better ratio on this compared to the Rice 2 so far. But it's happening. It is dropping over time though, 99.84 now, but still ahead of Angela's 99.74. Little bit of an advantage for ManiaDegengod as we end this first half.
Yeah, I mean, at least this middle section is fairly long, so there's a lot that you can kind of gnaw at here when you're trying to go right for the ribs. You're eating the meat rest right off of it. ManiaDegengod is looking to prove their will with this pick alone, and this section is probably going to be the one thing that they have to watch, and it's going to be quite tough to ratio. I think I just saw a grade coming out of DegenGod as well. That should be a testament as to how difficult this part can really be, especially transitioning between these parents. This is going to be the hardest point for both players. Please tell me DegenGod can make this
close. Oh, it's close.
Oh no. Don't. There's no way. Please.
Oh, both players getting through it just about fine. Here we go into the last kind of section. A little bit of advantage still for ManiaDegengod. Angela did drop down below 99.7.
It's just these parents. I just see some really egregious parents that are being thrown out here and there. But I think despite it all, oh my god, DegenGod has finally done it. 1,700 points in their favor, and it's a 991k that brings them a victory. Very close call that separates these two, and it was just down to the ratio game. They managed to do it. They managed to deal Angela a deal of their own medicine finally, and
yeah, just holding on. This combo, double full combo both players this time, but we've seen now two maps where I feel like ManiaDegengod has had the advantage with the accuracy on the LNs, just very slightly. So the LN's still looking quite good overall. The really scary thing I think about this matchup so far is Angela's yet to miss.
Wait, Angela's actually not even missed so far?
Nope. 3 FCs in a row, and 2 of those are on like 4-minute maps.
Bro, of course. Dude, even with like the longest map, somehow Angela has just proven that their consistency is yet another beast on its own to be able to tackle. And going into Rise 5, this yet another sentiment that this is probably going to be a very similar story once again. Able to love his pretty much the type of pick that wants you to believe that this is going to be quite on the harder side, but Angela's probably licking their lips, just smirking at the sheer sight of this map, looking to try and capitalize on yet another Rice pick against the likes of DegenGod, because they've had great luck so far going into this matchup alone. Especially while this is a winner's bracket match, they want to be able to ensure that they can stay here for as long as possible, because there is so much more blood that they're going to have to try and face throughout the tournament alone. And it's pretty much the same sentiment that is shared between these two players going into Rise 5. Let's see what they do here.
This is a really good pick for Angela. Feels like Angela is finding all the maps equally comfortable, but this is a map that would really punish ManiaDegengod's kind of, you know, miss chances, because the missing from ManiaDegengod has been really what's costing him so far this match, and this is going to be a hard one to hold on to the combo for, as we see already. Oh, that's maybe a bit of a mind block potentially.
I was about
It's
to
just
say,
a nasty
like,
pattern overall, isn't it?
yeah. That was like more than just nasty. That was like evil. That was disrespectful. Like, dude, imagine going to a matchup and you just randomly see that pattern right at your door, just knocking so loud. Like, you just like locked it on purpose and it just breaks it. Like, that's generally how it feels. That pattern is scary to even look at, and I wouldn't even blame DegenGod for even finding fault on that. Like,
Angela is human.
Evil.
Angela finds the miss, but
Finally.
ManiaDegengod's already missed, I think, 3 times in this map. So the single miss, not really going to affect anything. And there's another one. I feel like ManiaDegengod really thrown off by the start of how this map started.
Indeed. I mean, at that point, it's only fair that these parents are starting to throw at the players. I mean, DegenGod getting the worst end of the stick as opposed to Angela, who's literally treating this map like it's yet another day for them. I mean, you still have a lot of light jacks and so on being thrown out here and there, but when it comes to the more visual pattern this one involves, that's the point where it really starts to try and at least force you into thinking about what you should be going for in the metagame, in which, yes, Angela has pretty much worked it well, and now at this point, may as well just be a very quick, easy point for them, unfortunately, for DegenGod.
I mean, Angela missing again, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Too many misses from ManiaDegengod. This accuracy is a full % difference now as well. Simply not possible to recover from this point on. Angela can miss as much as they want, really.
They could literally just let go of the keyboard. Actually, no, they can't. There's an entire corner.
Yeah, there's plenty of time to just completely, you know, tank.
Yeah, I know.
A quarter of the map, if you let go of the keyboard, that's 75%. You know, I can do maths.
Oh, yeah. Okay, thank you. You did the one thing that I haven't even done in like 2.5 years. Oh, dude.
But anything better than letting go of the keyboard is fine. So Angela gonna find a couple more misses towards the end, but they're all traded by ManiaDegengod. So it is perfectly fine. This score lead is not going to go anywhere. It's looking like a very comfortable 3rd point on the board. We're going to be looking at 3-1. Still only 1 breakpoint is the difference between these two players, but that is going to have to be a breakpoint that happens sooner or later.
Mm-hmm. And quite an important point for Angela to take as well. 228 perfects. That is something you can never scoff at whatsoever. And the fact that this is literally the closest equivalent to EX1, like in terms of difficulty, is pretty much the best pick for Angela, honestly. Like, really good decision to throw this one out from what it looks like.
These are crazy judgments for a tech map, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are.
Like, we got like the 1-to-10 ratio, 3 200s, 4 miss. I mean, I guess the mini jacks were quite apparent in a lot of those patterns, but still, it's funny seeing that kind of score. Very, very, very clean accuracy overall, has to be said.
Yeah.
But okay, the obvious pick being picked here by ManiaDegengod, the last LN that's left in the pool.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much gonna be one of the most important picks for DegenGod to be able to throw out, because they are now 2 points away from being knocked down into the losers bracket. Angela has 2 points to win if they want to proceed in the very bracket that they literally want to make the statement that they own here on out. But ManiaDegengod has to be the one player to oppose them right here, and it's going to have to matter on L1 Peach Pit and Cyanide. Once again, a bit of a more awkward kind of coordination release type of map, which focuses a lot on anchors and fairly elongated flams as well as that.
Yeah, once again, this is going to be ManiaDegengod. FC feels like it's almost a requirement for these maps here, but the accuracy at least should be looking strong for them. Both players off to a good start here.
Mm-hmm. And so far, the good start is also what's going to be the main danger of this match alone, because it's only 300 points that separates these two players. ManiaDegengod has the smallest of biases right now. Angela literally right up their tail, but as it stands, we're going into some of the parts that introduce some more of these dump patterns as well, some streams and graces that are thrown out here and there, and it's literally being kept right where it stands. 300 points, and now we see a bit of a flicker on the bottom, and it's now back to 300 points in favor of Degengod.
Yeah, 200s there for Angela, dropping down to 99.74. Still not a very big lead in the accuracy, but a lead nonetheless. Just has to hold on to it, but still 2/3 of the map left.
Indeed, there is still a lot that you can really work with a map like this, and it's only 3 minutes long at that as well. Degengod has the biggest lead that they've had so far going into this map, and it's only 1,000 points. You heard it right. Dude. You can see it right. It's only 1,000 points that Degengod's winning by, bro.
Watching anchors, I don't know if it's the same with you. Watching anchors always gets me so nervous when it's such a close map as well. Like, I don't know why, it just feels like a miss could happen at any note.
I mean, so far, to be honest, you're not even wrong. My hairs are literally like, the hairs are literally pointing right to the ceiling right now. I'm genuinely so nervous right now.
Like, this accuracy lead is kind of staying put. Whoa,
oh, you're serious?
Osu client?
Bro, I hope that was, I severely hope that's a client.
I saw a little bit of lag. Perhaps, Copium?
Copium?
I will say though, even if it's a real miss, it looks like it might be a real miss. ManiaDegengod does have still a bit of an accuracy lead. This is not going to be a very big lead in Angela's favor. And in fact, I feel like there's a big potential here for ManiaDegengod to still win. Is going to have to really lock in on this ratio now though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's still a lot of grace that Angela can play. I saw one right there.
It's less than 1,000. It's less than 1,000 again. Oh, it's less than 1,000 again. This might be possible. No! Dude! We're not back. It's so over again.
It's so over. Right as we were literally on the hype train, it just immediately crushed the chances of being able to get it without one miss alone. And unfortunately for Degengod, it's yet another breakpoint that is lost in the clutches of Angela once more. 989k, and it's only a difference of 4,000 points.
Oh my god, look at this this is a robbery. That ManiaDegengod's accuracy is so good. So insanely good. Look at the ratio and the 200 count. Just 2 50s. That's it. 2 slider breaks.
C27, by the way.
Actually, really unfortunate here with the things, and we get robbed of a photo finish. But it is going to be Angela coming out on top at the end of the day. I mean, it's got to be said, Angela's FC capabilities are outstanding so far this match. Just the Rise 5 was the only one where we saw misses from Angela.
Indeed, and now Degengod has their back against the wall. The god of degeneracy is literally at the brink of being thrown down into the losers bracket. A fall from race of that, as we are going to be going right for Rise 4 Loner. It makes the most sense. This is pretty much textbook predictions for what Angela could pretty much pick, and makes the most sense because this one's very abrasive as well. So Degengod, now that they're down by 4 points, all they have to do is to be able to win, is to be able to force the tiebreaker, and at least if they want to secure the chances of being in the winner's bracket still. But the likelihood of that on the Rice picks is, I'm scared to even imagine it.
It feels like this match was very possible for ManiaDegengod to force the tiebreaker at the very least, and maybe even win, but having to break point twice on Rice picks is going to be difficult. I think especially on this one, this is by far Angela's best chance here to close it out. This, I would have said, is one of Angela's best picks just in general. Like from the very get-go of this this match. So we'll see. ManiaDegengod required now to keep up with Angela's accuracy, and oh man, that is an accuracy.
Yep, that is most certainly an accuracy that I'm seeing. I mean, only 1,000 points in the favor of Angela for the time being, and it's honestly quite insane how this is literally being so kept uptight throughout the very start of this match alone, or this map in particular, because ManiaDegengod is also showing that they have what it takes to be able to act a rice map like this with a fair slew of a lot of race patterns here and there. But Angela is just taking it to the next extreme, being able to try and MA a lot of these really odd patterns, a lot of these burst streams, a lot of these dump tuitions that somehow Sakasagi has thrown in here, and is just literally being denominated by Angela's efforts alone.
Yeah, I mean, that said, ManiaDegengod is doing quite well overall here. 99.8 is still very strong accuracy so far, halfway into the map, but of course not going to be quite enough to match Angela's accuracy overall, but it's very, very close score-wise, so any mistake is going to be what ManiaDegengod is banking on here.
Indeed, and it's going to be one of the most important things for Degengod to look out for as the miss comes out as well. Probably the worst place you could potentially miss on a map like this while it's already just almost more than halfway through. It's already going into the final quarter, the final third, that as it's now 10,000 points that separate the two. Angela is looking to try and win this map outright and make sure that they do not go into the loser bracket whatsoever. Degengod had really good chances on a lot of the LN maps, but unfortunately, this one is just looking like another mountain to climb unless Angela starts taking a lot of misses, but the likelihood of that on a rice map of all things is like...
Oh, it's looking slim. Angela's looking way too locked in right now, way too comfortable on this one. In fact, the accuracy increases for a moment there to 99.92. This is an absolutely monstrous score to close things out, and Angela is going to be moving forward in the winners round of 16 next weekend with a clean double S 997k. What do you do?
I have no idea, man. Like, are you serious? V1 double S with only 134 perfects and a 997 score on Rice 4. All right. Okay. All right, Angela. You win. You can have your rest now. You've done it. You've done what you needed to do. Like,
definitely,
oh my God, man.
Definitely justifying that seed number 6, and I think going to be very, very scary for pretty much everyone, even in the winners bracket here, moving forward. If they can keep putting out scores like this, that was an insane performance coming out here. But now also ManiaDegengod still, of course, in the tournament, going to be kicked down into the lower bracket, where I'm sure they're going to be quite formidable down there.
Absolutely. I mean, especially now that Angela is moving forward, they are going to be facing between ManiaDegengod or Cycle in the round of 16 winners bracket. Whereas for the likes of ManiaDegengod, they still have a lot of time to be able to at least make sure that they can still remain in the tournament, but it seems like now it's either between Cirx or Zerk XU that they will be facing down there, as well as the introduction of the conditionals coming into effect as well, in which they will have to face between Kaya, Klufai, or Cycle, depending on who is going to make it into the conditionals as well. So a lot of matches that it seems Degengod's gonna have to look out for now that they've lost this one, and you know, we're literally robbed by quite a bit on various maps as well. But at the end of the day, like, these are just insane caliber of players that we're seeing here and there. Like, it's just never going to stop, and I doubt we're gonna stop anytime soon with the amount of matches that we have left to witness of this weekend as well. There's still more matches that we've got going on as well. The next one of which I believe gonna be at 15 UTC. Yeah.
So that's going to be in about half an hour from now. We are going to have J-Live versus BC1, so that should be another winners bracket match happening on the main stream. It should be on the A stream, so make sure you stay tuned for that one. Keep an eye out on the stream announce channel.
Absolutely. So yeah, once again, this has been quite the match to witness, and we've still got more fuel to burn through with this day in particular of round of 32. So once again, I've been Nepkin, joined by Fantastic F. We'll catch you in about half an hour or so. Be there, be square, and thank you all for tuning in.
Goodbye.